Did you get the co-host button?
Where would I see that?
Well, I think I just already made you co-host. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay. So you can see basically what I see too in the participants and also the chat box.
Yeah, this is all new territory for me. So I'll just chat and you just tell me what to do.
Okay. You know, somebody was telling me there's a firestorm, something like that, on the sun the next couple of days. And I said, well, what does that do? It said it zaps your energy. It's the radio frequency waves that affect you here on Earth. So I thought, oh, that was interesting.
Like a solar burst.
Yeah, solar burst.
Lots happening on the globe right now and off the globe. So, you know,
yeah.
Thank God for Kangen Water.
Exactly. Speaking of that, I'm going to grab some real quick, so I have some right here.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. All right. And we got Mickey's Wade's call, which is just ending too. Hey, Anna. Hey, Kimberly. Steve. Mary. Okay. Let's see. So he should be piling on here too pretty soon. Yeah, there he is. Hey, Mickey. Okay.
Hey, John.
There he is.
There you go. Wow.
Where's your video?
I'm trying to figure that one out right now. Hold on. I'll be right there.
Have you done a Zoom before?
Yeah, I have. I've done Zoom, but this is a little different setup with yours.
Okay.
There it is.
There you go. Almost there.
I think I'm here. There it is.
All right.
Dude. All right. I like your setup.
Thanks.
I gotta talk to you afterwards. See how you did that.
Well, I think the most important thing in this is the lighting. So I got some professional lighting in here. I'm actually looking over the ocean right now. So I got the beach and the water right in front of me, and got the sun coming this way. So it's perfect. Perfect for lighting at this time of day. So yeah. And Mickey, you got Dr. Schuyler right there too.
Hey, how you doing, doctor?
Nice to meet you. Very well. Very well.
Good. I'm excited. I got pen and paper ready for you.
Okay.
That makes two of us. That's good. There's always room for learning.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the webinar. We're going to start here in about 1 minute, and I'm going to let Dr. Schuyler talk. I'm going to do a demo, and then I'll have you close it out, and then I'm going to open it up to anybody who wants to see the business side of it, who wants to learn how they get their machine paid for, and I'm going to spend about 10 minutes on that.
Sounds like a plan.
So, all right.
I'm going to turn off my videos while you're doing this so you don't get distracted by my beauty.
Yeah, You'll be on in about 50 minutes.
Okay, we'll be right there.
Okay, very good. Just as long as we got you on. Okay, you know what you're doing. You're a pro, Mickey. You're a pro. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. John Swartz coming to you from Redondo Beach, California. And man, it is a beautiful day down here at the beach in California. And we have a very special guest today. We have Dr. Schuyler. Now, I met Dr. Schuyler
almost 3 years ago. Almost 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah, almost 3 years ago. And he's going to tell his story on how he heard about this. And he's got a really good story. He was one of these guys. Dr. Schuyler is a chiropractor from Santa Barbara. And, you know, I deal with a lot of chiropractors because I think they're really great to deal with this because they get this. They understand it. And also they have a lot of patience too. And Dr. Schuyler is a guy on my team that I love to deal with. I appreciate Dr. Schuyler so much and his hard work, and he's got a big heart. I don't say that maybe about 10% of the chiropractors I deal with, he's in the top 10% because of his heart and how he deals with his patients. I really see that he really cares for them. He really is very caring guy. I love doing business with Dr. Schuyler because we just mesh so good together. And he's got a great wife that works with him too as a chiropractor as well. And he's got 2 great daughters. I don't know if you've seen the flyer or not, but anyway, I can go on and on about Dr. Schuyler. Great motivator, great speaker, and I want to welcome Dr. Schuyler.
Oh, thank you, John. Hello, everyone. Again, I just first want to acknowledge John for setting up these calls and really creating an environment for all of us to continue to learn and grow, and more importantly, inspire each other. I think we kind of learned that in kindergarten, is share and tell. So my goal today is really to share. I think, you know, one of the gifts that we have is in humanity is we all have a story. And I think all of us are aching for a connection to each other's stories in some ways, and playing out, maybe even expanding that in ways that make a difference in each other's lives, okay? So today, I'm definitely John asked me to share my story. I'd love to. I'm overly moved by it. I maybe even moved to tears by it, you know?
Dr. Schuyler, I want to give these guys a taste of what it is what it took for me to be persistent, and kind of give that story on like you're kind of yeah, whatever. You know,
yeah, totally. So I mean, I think my story is one of serendipity, synchronicity, and skepticism. And so with this, and being a chiropractor for over 20 years, I've been, around a lot of different products and businesses and companies and good people trying to get me to sell their product to our patients, trying to help them. And I understand I really want to back them in many ways, but unfortunately, a lot of the products that I've seen and experienced, they all fell a little short. They never really produced the results. And so just kind of how I got introduced to Kangen Water was I was doing a spinal screening. I think it was either Earth Day or Solstice event out in Santa Barbara, and there was a lady that came into our booth and wanted to speak, and I definitely didn't have time for her, but we set up a time in the office to meet. And in doing so, with that is we realized that there was a lot of synchronicity to how our lives came together, okay? I believe when there's sometimes divine guidance and timing, when people come together, that's when we're supposed to listen, right? And so this was one of those moments. Well, she started talking weeks later about this water. You got to drink this water. I got this guy from the Anti-Cancer Institute. You got to come meet, John Swartz. It's great. And I said, I'm really not interested, but I'm glad you're excited about it. But she wouldn't let up. So it led me into basically trying to see if I could get her to change the direction of her sharing. They said, yeah, have John come up. I'd love to meet with him. So John came to our office at the end of a busy day, and helping a lot of patients, and I was still open to learning, but I was really kind of still skeptical. So John came in to do a demo, and I think, John, if you could correct me, but I think we cut it short. I think it was like 20 minutes. And I wasn't trying to be rude or anything like that, but it's like John started to share with me, and I was like, okay, here's one more presentation of a product with a lot of claims, Okay, and I'm hearing it, and if you remember, John, I didn't even drink the water during that visit. And when I got to the end of the conversation with John, it was like, okay, you're really excited about, number one, the water, the benefits it's been producing for your clients for over 10 years. It got to the point where it's like, I tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't you guys are really excited about this, you believe in this, why don't you put one of these units in my home, right? Put it in my home for about a month. Let me see if I notice anything. If I notice something, I'll call you, number one, either to pick it up, or number two, I got a lot of questions. Well, long story short, I had a lot of questions within 2 days. So John, I didn't fill him in on my history, but in 2007, I was in a near fatal accident. So, you know, I fractured my spine, I had herniated discs, I had a lot of trauma, okay? And in doing so, I drank this water for 2 days, and 95% of my back pain symptoms were gone. So I bring this up from the standpoint, I'm like, how did this happen? Number one, because I drank from other alkaline water, other ionizers, other companies that claimed all these things, and I pushed it aside. That's why I was a little bit, short on just being open to new information from John. But once I had my experience, I couldn't deny it. So I was on the phone with John pretty much daily for a couple months and just trying to get more information. He was trying to put me in touch with more doctors to have more conversations around that. But I didn't really need more head information. I just wanted more understanding, okay, what's the difference about Kangen water? You know, John was very persistent with me. I think I started drinking the water in July. It was not until, I think, November or October, we actually bought a unit, okay? And in that time frame, I was still kind of waving out the placebo effect, if you will, from my own experience. John was very persistent each week. I think at some point he's like, you know, when are you ready to buy a unit? When are you ready to buy a unit? When are you ready to buy a unit? And he's like, I tell you what, why don't you come out to Las Vegas? I think you're gonna have a nice experience at one of our conferences. You get to meet a number more doctors that are utilizing this with their patients. You may have more of your questions answered. Yep.
One thing too is you were saying that the water didn't taste right, right?
Yeah, so the water felt off. Something was off to it, and it's like we were trying left and right. And thank you for being at it. It's like I wasn't sure on what was wrong, but there was I think it was we didn't have the proper pre-filter in front of it, and John shipped out another pre-filter to me. And still we're having issues, but I mean, again, just who you are as a person. He's like, you're having an issue with the pre-filter. He sent it out to our home. It arrived like the next day. We got it set up. We started to get a little more improvement there, but the water just didn't taste right. We ended up getting, with John's help, we ended up getting another pre-filter. We landed it, right? And with that, I think just to kind of back up, is that at the conference, I think one of the gifts was I spent probably about 80% of the time not in the room talking or listening to the speakers. I spent about 80% of the time outside of the room, really bumping into people and asking them, saying, hey, John, you have a second? Or nice to meet you. You know, my name's Dr. Schuyler. I'm just visiting. I'm just curious. Can you share with me, you know, what's your experience with Kangen water? Are you part of the business? How'd you get involved with it? Like you're asking me. And I bet 95% of the people I spoke with, they all shared they had healing experiences. So for me, it's like I had a healing experience. I want to know more. So it was more of their experience before it was a business. And I got excited about that because when I found out more about Kangen water and Enagic, it's really started as a product, not a business. And now I'm spending time with people who are the byproduct of a product that's really enhancing their life, their health, their well-being, their finances. And I'm starting to say, wow, this is amazing. You know, I'm spending, time in the hallway. I think that was a 2-day event. I think I was crying both days with people telling me their stories because it was so heart-moving. And so with that, it's like, that led me in a direction and just ask more questions. But at some point, it's like, it's a done deal. You know, this is the real thing. I can't deny what I'm feeling. Even though I spent 3-4 months calling other companies with all the claims that are out there on the internet, trying to find out how their claims are stating that their product is a better product. And say, if it was, I'd buy it. I drank from it in the past. It wasn't. I'm not getting the results. I'm getting different results. So how is it this different? you know, educate me to the point where I could actually, you know, understand. I'll trade it out. None of that got answered from the perspective that would have made a difference. So it led me into Enagic being, this is the real deal. This is the gold standard. This is, you know, reproducible. With that, then 2 months later, my wife's asking, you know, when are you going to share this with your patients? And I said, you know, I don't want to sell them a product. She's like, you are the product. You know, when are you going to share with them about our daughter? When are you going to share with them about her healing experience? And so for me, it's like, after I had my experience as far as my herniated discs, I think I still have herniated discs, but the back pain itself is 95% gone. I had kidney stones gone. I had blood clots in my legs gone. I had, you know, I broke my ribs. I bruised my liver. I had a lot of digestive issues gone. And when I say gone, improved. I can go on with the list. The energy was amazing. But my daughter, just by a byproduct of us drinking different water, she had been suffering with psoriasis and eczema very bad behind both ears across the back of her head. Just like myself for over a year. And for me, it was over 10 years living with that pain, figuring as like, you know, I'm just blessed to be alive. So I'm happy if I get to live with this pain, I'm still blessed to be alive. But it's like when Kangen came in, it changed that, new possibility. My daughter, we tried everything from acupuncture, chiropractic, faith healing, herbs, Chinese medicine, you know, we go on and on. Nothing helped, but by byproduct, within 2 weeks to 3 weeks, her eczema psoriasis was gone. To me, I'm looking at a 5-year-old that's been suffering. It's like, okay, that's no placebo effect on this end, you know. And then we had an olive tree. I don't know if John's ever shared this, but we had an olive tree in our backyard that was dead. We had this olive tree that was we had at our wedding. So right, we had a landscaper come in and trim this tree back, and it basically died. And so over the course of maybe 9 months, I've been watering this plant, this olive tree, in hopes that it's going to come back to life. I remineralized it. I put crystals in it. I prayed over it. I did everything you possibly could to bring this thing back to life. Byproduct of the Kangen water, when we got our unit into the home, I had like 3/4 of a gallon of the Kangen water, 9.5, on the sink, and I poured it on the roots, basically, of the olive tree. 3 to 5 days later, my wife said before I was going to work, "Did you see the olive tree?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She's like, I see it every week. The landscaper should never have cut that back. She didn't ask me. We should fire her. You know, this is, I was really hurt. And she's like, "Well, go look at that olive tree again," you know? And so went out there, you know, 3 to 5 days later, and there's like 20 little shoots coming out at the bottom of the olive tree. Well, long story short, in the course of 2 months, that olive tree came back to life. And so for me, when I went from my story to having my daughter heal, and now a plant heal, so I've got a kid, a plant, and now when I started to bring the water into the office, and I've got animals, horses, really amazing healing. I don't know if I can share all about compliance-wise, but we're talking, things from tumors that have been resolved to, chronic issues and ailments, much like John claimed. And so now I'm the guy on the other side of it, was a skeptic. And I guess I've kind of moved over to being an evangelist around the standpoint. It's like, this is the real deal. It's going to help people. And my wife mentioned, Brain, are you going to bring it into the office? Well, I had one patient that named Richard. It's a very beautiful soul. I've been taking care of him. I met him at Earth Day a year earlier. We've made great changes in his nervous system, his spine, his body, but he was still suffering with pain and different patterns that I knew we could help him. And so my wife says, "Why don't you share with somebody?" So I brought in a bag one morning to the office. I said, "Hey, Richard, I got this water. I would love for you to do an experiment with me. Would you mind drinking this and tell me what you notice?" And so Richard, basically within, in chronic pain, he had about 2,000 pounds of, and he shared his story, so this isn't, I'm breaching confidentiality, but glass doors fall on him. And so he was living in pain and suffering with that. Richard comes back 2 days later and he says, "Dr. Schuyler, how's this happening?" He's like, "My pain threshold is down considerably." And I say, "I know, the same thing happened to me. Let's ask John." So we got John to come up to our office and start to share in the office, basically a demo with our patients. And it was really special because going full circle, when John got to a certain part of the demo I think he's going to share tonight, there was one part where he put like this, he had a light bulb. And he took this probe and he put it in the different waters, and none of the waters lit up this light bulb. But when he got to Kangen, he put it into the Kangen water, and this light bulb started to glow. And I was in the back of the room, and I was just jumping up and down. It's like, that's what I feel in my cells. That's what I feel in my body. That's what I'm witnessing in my daughter's life. That's what happened in the olive tree. That's what's happening for my patients, Richard. It's like, this is amazing, you know. And we've been, since then, Richard, you know, he's like, I got to do this, man. I want to help more people. And so now I think he just had somebody, you know, he's in Santa Barbara with us, but he's had people all over the US. And now we got somebody through him sharing down in Australia. And I just think it's really beautiful how this is rippling out, literally. For me, I thought what was beautiful about John, even though he's like, he was on me to get my unit, and I understand it now. But for you, basically, it's like, I lost my train of thought there, but John's persistence of caring, not his persistence of selling. What really helped keep the door open for me to explore my own timing. And so what that's allowed for me now in my patients, my practice, is that I just share the water. The water sells itself. The hardest part it's going to be is for them to pick it up or to drink it. That's it. You know, once it's in their body, you're going to have an experience. And in the end of the, you know, I don't have a trial period. You know, we've had some people, it's taken them a year before they bought a unit. You know, some people, they don't even need to know, they don't have to see a demo, they don't have to drink it. They just, they trust somebody's story because they connect with that feeling in the story that that person's life and health and well-being changed from something so simple. You know, I think I told John, I think I laughed, I scoffed at the little motto of change your water, change your life. And now I'm like, man, all you got to do is change your water. It's going to change your life. You know, for me, it's pretty exciting there. And so I don't know if there's another question for you, John. I can go on and on about really how my life has changed, but and more importantly, how my daughter's life has changed.
Don't forget your wife. I like your wife's story too.
Wow. Yeah. So
I don't know if we should be telling the story or not, but it is funny. Why did you tell that story?
My wife one morning, so we got the water, and she, honestly, we had it in the home, and I was the one drinking it. She wasn't drinking it. You know, she loves her espresso and her coffee, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, and, from that standpoint. But she really believed in this was helping me, and it was helping our daughter. But when we got finally the unit into our home, and I got to tell you, when we had the water in our home, it really, I was telling John, it's like afterwards, it's like, I was thinking about, well, I'm going to save $400 to $500 a month on alkaline bottled water that I'd been buying for our family. And now it's not that I'm saving money. It's actually, it's providing and improving health, but it's also starting to bring more passive stream of income in. I think you're going to talk about that later. But my wife, one morning, I think the day after we got it in, we had one bathroom at home at that time, and she's knocking on the bathroom door. She said, "You got to get out of the bathroom." It's like, why? You got to get out of the bathroom. So I'm jumping out of the shower, I leave the bathroom, and she comes into the kitchen, and she's like, "Wow." I'm like, "Wow? Wow." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Wow." And I've never had basically her bowels released and really let down in a way that it never before. And I think, you know, the one thing I mentioned to my patients as well is, you know, the first thing that's probably going to happen is your digestive system's going to start to change, you know. I share in the demo, you heard John's demo, we've heard all these claims, but I think the number one thing that this water can help for, and I mentioned, is it's a cure for chronic dehydration, chronic inflammation, right? And with that is like, as the hydration comes back up, the inflammation's coming down. Anything that we have in chronic diseases, we can label it right back to inflammation. We can label it right back to chronic dehydration. As this water gets into the system, the cells know exactly what to do. They wake back up. And so for my wife, it's like waking back up, you know, and it's like I had one patient that's lost 80 pounds. Didn't change his diet. He just changed his water.
Well, I know that.
For Richard, excuse me, but for Richard, I think one thing that's really exciting for Richard, I just love this young man. He's just all heart and soul, and he really comes from a good place. I tease him. I say, you got like this tribe of grandmothers, because he's got this community of these beautiful women, and we've had women that come in with strollers and walkers and things that through his caring and really getting water over to them, it's changed their lives. There's one lady we met, she could barely move. The next time I saw her, she was walking with a cane. The next time we saw her without a cane, you know. But from the standpoint of Richard, I can say, man, I went to chiropractic school. I had to go study for 20 years here, and I've been studying and postdoctorate. I've got malpractice insurance. I got all this there, and you're sharing water with some of these men, women, children, and animals, and you've had things cured from cancers, tumors, chronic illness, disease. And the awesome thing is, just like it was for myself, my daughter, our olive tree, we weren't trying to treat a symptom. You're not trying to treat a symptom. You're helping people get an essential, vital element back into their life. You're flooding them with it. Number one, you're flooding them with love and possibility and hope. Number two, you're getting that water into them, and the rest does its thing. You know, they usually, like I did to John, I was like, okay, how do I get one of these into my home?
So I don't think people grasp the enormity of this, but you're in a near fatal car accident. Your back was really messed up. Okay.
Yeah. So
and you had tried everything.
Everything.
Right?
Yeah.
And what did you try?
So I did everything from changing my diet. I went to keto, juicing, a raw foodist, paleo. I did all the dietary, gluten-free, all those things possible. I tried other water ionizers. You know, I did other alkaline water. We tried to charge our water. We put crystals in our waters. We used the vortices to get more energy into it. We put drops in the water to create, because I believe in the concept. The concept's right on. The concept's right on. But everyone's right now pursuing alkalinity versus the electrolyzed reduced water. It's a big difference. And so with it, I tried acupuncture, colon therapy, hydrotherapy, Chinese medicine, massage, all different types of massage, mental, emotional, spiritual healing, things like that. The best chiropractic neurologic care on the planet. I was trying all over the place for network spinal analysis, network care, biofeedback, faith healing, naturopathic. I laid on mats, pulsed EMF, everything for 10 years. A little bit of improvement, but not 95% of my back being gone. And that to me was a radical shift. You know, when you get hit head on by a drunk driver at 70 miles an hour, it shatters your body. It shattered my wife's body. We're blessed to be alive, but one thing I know is that, man, God's, in our life, whatever you want to call God or universe or faith, but we're wired to heal. We need some essential elements to heal, and we get the right elements in place. And I think the one thing that was missing for me was like my herniated discs in my back, where you basically picture like a kitchen sponge that's dried, right? It's very flat, but I think the microclustering and the negative ORP of this water, basically the charge helped basically resaturate and rehydrate those discs. I still have a broken neck. I probably have herniated discs, but those discs are hydrating where before they couldn't hydrate because the clustered of the water wasn't getting in. There wasn't enough charge to get into the imbibition, saturation of those discs. So for me, I got really excited. Now I didn't go on I haven't been on a crusade to get everyone with a herniated disc this water. Why? Because it's not about treating a disease or a condition. It's about getting the essentials back into people's lives. I think right now on the planet, with what the world's going through right now, every home should have a magic Kangen water unit. I think a K8 should be in everyone's home.
So you had 95%. You're saying it was 95% better. You're back within 2 days?
Within 2 days, and it stayed like that. And it stayed like that. You know, the thing is like this. I mean, this water is John. I mean, John, I think you're a godsend. He stayed with me, and Fabiola, but she introduced me to this water. You know, I'm grateful for it. but more so right now, the reason I'm more fired up, and I said, yeah, I'd love to get on this call and I'll share my story. My story's still writing because I'm still gearing up with it. But from the standpoint is 3 years later, I think I mentioned it, we had the fires and the floods in Santa Barbara. We were on the edge of evacuating our home. I sent my family up to Canada. So what I got in place was I got my pictures of my girls and everything, my computer, and my Kangen unit. That's the only thing we were gonna take from our home. Okay, and so with this is like when you realize that this equipment that has been backed with so much integrity, that's producing consistent results. When you look at that, you're like, okay, there's hope for people to really heal. And so I'm more fired up on this 3 years later, not because of my own personal story and my family, because I'm witnessing patients, and I'm witnessing now their families. I'm witnessing Richard. I mean, Richard's gonna bring, and we do a little demos here. He's bringing in some of these people I've never met. I've never met him. He meets them in the parking lot sometimes. He welcomes them into the office. We share a little demo. They go home with the water. They start drinking the water, and then their lives are changing. And so, I mean, feel free to ask more questions, John, but it's like, I'm more excited about what I'm experiencing now and witnessing with our patients. We have a horse now that's, I think a cow now that's had some healing improvements. I know, holy cow, right?
Yeah.
And, we've had dogs and cats that were, getting ready to be put down and have a reawakening and healing.
Dr. Schuyler, you now have, I know you got Richard on your team. I know Richard has helped 6 people in the last 2 weeks get their machine and put it into their house. And he's got, I think, another 3 people this week that are getting machines also. Richard is a guy who is just very kind, very loving, very personable guy that he's talking about. And I know you're getting more and more people getting this machine in your office and excited about sharing it. As a side, I guess you're making some side income on this. How is that coming along?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've been, especially, I told John I'd probably pay 3 times. I would have paid 3-4 times as much for this. I never expected to do this as a business. I called John after I shared with Richard, and I had another patient the same week, and they both ended up buying it. And 10 days later, I had 2 checks in the mail, and John, I think they made a mistake. What's going on here? I'm not doing this as a business. My heart and passion and my drive is network spinal analysis, network chiropractic. This is my soul's purpose. I'm not here to do another business. He's like, no, it's just thank you money. They're just sending you money. It's like, so I don't have to do anything. I don't have any monthly, whatever. I have to sell something. He's like, nope, that's it. It's like, okay, this is nice. I'm not allergic to money, that's for sure. It's like, it was great. And so it's been nice, passively, especially during this time, people are going through some really stressful times. And, I had a few checks come in yesterday, and it's like, wow, I don't even know these people. It was from Richard, who met somebody in LA who knew somebody in Texas and knew somebody in Australia. And now it's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Because isn't it like, we have this saying about paying it forward, and how, and there's some level, we kind of started the conversation about, we got to each all have a story. Well, I think we're like 6 degrees of separation. I started the conversation with you around Fabiola, but I didn't mention to it. Fabiola came into my booth to share with me about this water that it came into, but she said she used to live in San Diego. I said, you live in San Diego? I lived in San Diego. It's been 20 years since I've been there. She said, yeah, I live down in San Diego. I actually used to work for a chiropractor down there. And I said in that moment, Dr. V, her jaw dropped. The jaw drops is like, how do you know him? I said, because that's the chiropractor that changed my life, and that's the reason I'm a chiropractor. There's 1,000 chiropractors down in San Diego. So when I think God speaks or the universe speaks, it brings people together. And that's so right now, like, for me, it brought John into my life. It's bringing Mickey into my life. It's the first time I've ever met you, all you, the individuals I haven't that right now, I think it's beautiful. We're all in this call together. So you asked about how the prosperity, well, the prosperity, it's starting to just keep coming in. And it's like, wow, this is really special. Again, I came back to years ago, my wife and I were involved in 2 different multi-level companies. I said to myself, I'll never do that again. I had a garage full of stuff I never took, I never used, I didn't have belief in it, I had no story with it, and I don't know how to sell people. I know how to share. And when I met, the conference, and I heard Mr. Oshiro's in the background of the company, I said, wow, this company has heart, it has soul, it has integrity. I'm excited to be a part of this, even if it's kind of passively. And I told Richard the other day, I said, if I wasn't so passionate about being a chiropractor and network spinal analysis, really this was a key element why I'm still alive, I would be doing this absolutely full throttle. And now I realize that, well, I'm actually starting to come up, and I'm doing them at the same pace because I have 3 years later of drinking this water and watching my patients. I was like, I gotta do more to help people. Not everyone can get on my table. Not everyone can work with me, even though I have people flying in from Hong Kong and all over. But everyone can drink water, and it's the easiest thing, no matter what protocol somebody's on. And it's the easiest thing for now you have a distributor to actually, I think the prosperity of health improves in someone's life. That ripple of prosperity is coming back into your life. It's a win-win-win. Now, for me, I think that something's a little humorous. I apologize if I'm taking up enough time, but right away I said, I'm not doing this business. So I started I think I put like 5, 6, maybe more units underneath Richard. And I had other people, not in John's downline, but I had people telling me, because I don't know the business side. I really don't care about it. I care about helping people. And I think if you invest in people, you really invest in people, they feel your story, they feel your heart. With Richard, I'm like, why would you do that? Someone else said, why do you do it? Because I like this guy. And you know what? I think he's an influencer that's gonna help people. I think I'm an investor in people. So I planted some seeds and I spent some time and energy and love and interaction. And I'm watching him just start to ripple out. And now he's paying it forward to other people. And it's a beautiful organization, organic organization, dynamic organization we're a part of. And I really feel like this, I think yes, it's a medical grade piece of equipment, but I think it's really, it's a stream of love and consciousness that's really bringing people together, bringing hope together. And we're watching and people share it in a way that's compliant, but in a way that realizes like, wow, these are essentials, and so is prosperity is the essential, especially right now. I'm glad you're gonna spend some time talking about the business side, because I think people are in need of that right now. And not just running out for a business first. The best way to sell this product is to become the product. And as you start to share it, like you were patient with me, and we've shared, I have one guy that's 2 years and he finally bought one. And at our office right now, I don't have the ability to put plumbing in our office. That's not true. I just didn't want to pay $100,000 to put plumbing in at this time. But so Richard's helped me and myself. We bring the water in. It's like I bring it in daily, and we share it. And I think the best way is that's the best way to reach people.
All right. Well, Dr. Schuyler, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're on my team. Such a great friend, such a great guy to do business with. We have such a good time when I'm up there in Santa Barbara, working with them too.
Can I say something quick?
Yeah.
John came up for 2 years, pretty much every month. He didn't ask for anything. He's coming back from Colombia, was it Brazil, I think Canada, all these different places that coming in, and it's like, wow. I mean, he spent like 2-3 hours, just like you're doing right now. That is just another byproduct of, I think, of what you're up to and bringing people together. Your time and energy it's changed my life. It's affecting people you'll never meet. And I think the most beautiful thing about the Kangen water with the right pre-filter in front of it, and if anyone wants to know which one we're using, could call. It's like, ask John. The piece there is, well, I lost my thought. I'm sorry.
Have some Kangen water, it'll help.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
All right. If you think about it, let me know. I'm gonna have show you a quick demonstration, and I am gonna get this all ready here, and hopefully you guys can watch this. Then what I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna have Mickey talk a little bit, and then for those of you guys who are interested, after the demonstration, Mickey's gonna talk for about 5 minutes. Mickey Wade, great leader in the company. And then what I'm gonna do, for those of you guys who are interested, who are like, you know what, I wanna get a machine, and I'm thinking about doing this as some side incomes. I know Dr. Schuyler makes anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 extra per month for his business. That's just extra gravy. And he's not putting a whole lot of time and effort into it. But if you're interested in something like that, the best thing about that too is you'd save about anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 a year on your taxes per year. So for the average person. So I'm gonna show you a quick demo, and then we'll go finish the rest of this. All right. Oops.
Hi, John Swarstrom. It is an honor and a privilege to introduce this new technology to you. It really has made a difference in my life and hopefully make a fantastic difference in yours. So this is basically how it all started. In the 1950s, some research was done around the world where there are these healing sources of water. And I don't know if you've heard these sources of water before, but there's one in Lourdes, France, Nordau, Germany, Dakota, Mexico, and Delhi, India. Now, there's over 40,000 people a day that line up at each of these locations because they claim to have healing properties with their bodies. And when we studied each one of these water sources, we all found they had one thing in common, that's active hydrogen, better known as alkaline water. There's also Dr. Henry Konda, who won the Nobel Prize for their study on the Hansa people. Now, Dr. Konda studied these people for 40 years. And the Hansa people lived to be 140 years old, having babies in their 80s. They have very little disease or sickness. And they wanted to find out why this was. And they found the reason was because of the water that they drink. It's very high in antioxidant. It's very, very alkaline, formed naturally through the glaciers. So our company decided to create a machine that could create these waters even up to 10,000 times stronger than these locations. Now, these are some of the certificates that we won. This is top one on the left corner is FDA approval in Japan. Now, it's much harder to get FDA approval in Japan than it is the United States. We actually have that right there. Right below that is the top doctors in Asia. There's 6,500 doctors in Asia. They formed a group, an organization, and they endorse it and use it on all their patients. Right below that in the bottom left is ISO certification. We also have FDA. We have a lot of other certifications also. Again, no other company has these. This is WQA certification. This certifies can be used in a hospital, restaurant, clinic, health club without being pulled out by the health authorities. Again, the only company that has all these certificates. This is a couple things about the company. It's a 40-year-old privately held company. It's an original equipment manufacturer, top industry leader. We're members of the Better Business Bureau with an A rating. We're members of the Direct Selling Association. We have numerous awards and endorsements, and we have offices all over the United States and all over the world. Now, these are some of the machines that we make. This is our K8. This is our newest machine. This is the SD501 and the SD501 Platinum. These are the machines we actually sell 95% of the time. This is the Junior. This is the Level Up R. This is the shower unit. And we have the industrial machine and the under-the-counter sink unit. Now, for today, we're going to be talking mainly about the K8. The K8 makes 5 different types of water. If we go over here, this is actually the K8. It has a nice little touch screen. And right over here on the right-hand side are all the drinking waters. Now, the drinking waters, it makes an 8.5, a 9.0, and a 9.5 pH drinking water. We normally start a person off at 8.5, keep a person there for a couple days, then we move them up to 9.0, And then finally 9.5. And that's where you want to stay, hydrate, and detoxify your body. The next water on here is just a plain filtered water in the green. Nothing really special about that. Now I want to speak to all the ladies for a minute here. Makes a beauty water. Now you ladies spend a lot of money on cosmetics, lotions, a lot of things for your hair, skin, and nails. And this is actually a beauty water. Now women go to the store and they'll buy toner at $30, $40, $50 a bottle. What toner does brings the pH of your skin back to 6.0. That's exactly what this water does too. Not only that, this water tones, tightens, and hydrates your skin a lot better than any other water. It takes years off your skin. Now, a lot of you realize that water makes up most of your hair, skin, and nails. And the quality of water that you put into your body makes more of a difference than any lotion, potion, or cosmetic you can use on your skin. Right below that, we have the strong acidic water. The strong acidic water, that's my favorite water because it kills all bacteria and all germs. It kills Ebola, Salmonella, E. coli, MRSA, anthrax in 20 seconds or less. So the surgeons in Japan, they don't use soap and water to wash up with before surgery. They just use this water. They wash all their surgical equipment with this water. It's 100 times stronger than bleach at killing bacteria and germs. This water is also written up in the Los Angeles Times and the Seattle Times because now the Sheraton hotels, Donald Trump towers, etc. are using this water to clean the bathrooms, kitchens, etc. The article says that they're saving 85% on cleaning costs and having 75% less sick days from their employees. The best thing about this water, though, is the number one thing used in Japan for psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, rosacea, acne, eczema, gangrene, and skin cancer. Get amazing results with it. Now, while it's making the 2.5 strong acidic water, at the exact same time, it's making this strong alkaline water. This water will take stains out of carpet, blood out of clothing, etc. Amazing water. So those are different waters. It's also approved as a medical device, like I said, in Japan. It has 8 platinum-coated solid titanium plates, speaks 8 languages, has a universal transformer you can use it anywhere in the world, industry's best self-automated cleaning system, creates medically approved Kangen-grade water, and has a 25 to 30 plus life expectancy. Now, we're talking about the drinking water. The drinking water has very great properties. It has very high antioxidant. It's also microclustered. It's also very, very alkaline. Now, what happens after you cut an apple open after about the first 20, 30 minutes? It turns brown, right? Same thing with bananas, avocados. Same thing happens with the cells of your body. They start to oxidize. We know that oxidation equals sickness equals aging. We also know that antioxidants act as an anti-inflammatory and also anti-aging. Now, this is actually a picture of our company founder, Mr. Hironari Oshiro, on the left, and his business advisor on the right. Now, most of the time, when I ask people how they think Mr. Oshiro looks, most people say that he looks like he's about 45 years old. And his business advisor on the right, most people think that he looks like he's about 75 years old. But the amazing thing is, these guys are actually the same age. They're both Japanese. They're actually roommates in college. And when Mr. Oshiro's roommate graduated, he came to the United States and got on the good old American diet. You can see what happened there. Start to oxidize. Mr. Oshiro has been drinking the water for over 35 years, so he's like a walking billboard for the company. Now, the amount of antioxidants you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long you will live. That's according to the National Institute of Health in Washington, D.C. This is an antioxidant chart. ORP stands for oxidation reduction potential. So anything in the positive is increasing oxidation or the rusting effect. So over on the right side, we can see we've got bottled water, tap water, sport drinks, sodas. The higher the number, the more oxidizing effect or aging effect it has on your body. Anything on the left side has a negative ORP. It has an anti-aging effect. So whenever we got vitamin C, green tea, cod liver oil. Now we're going to take a look at these beverages here to see where they are in the antioxidant chart. So you can see some of these beverages here. You probably recognize a lot of them. Right here we've got some Dishonest Water, or Dasani water. This was voted worst product by Consumer Reports of all products made. This is actually banned in Europe. And we're going to put a little Dishonest Water here. It's actually made by Coca-Cola. Right next to that, we've got some Aquafina. This is also banned in Europe. You never see this in a European Union country. Okay. This is actually pulled from the Detroit River. They run through a filter and sell it to you. Right next to that, we got some Nestle Pure Life. This is just a water that we pulled out. It's pretty popular. Okay, Nestle's a very popular water here. Right next to that, we got some vitamin water. This is a pretty popular water as well. It's got vitamins on there, or vitamin water, so I think it's good for you. I think it's got a lot of vitamins, etc. Right next to that, we got some Perrier. This is represents all your sparkling water, San Pellegrino, Canada Dry, etc. Right next to that, we got the Gatorade. Okay, this is what a lot of athletes are supposed to drink, right? And this Gatorade also makes Propel. So this represents all your sport waters. Right next to that, we've got Sprite. This represents all your soft drinks. Coke, Pepsi, Diet Coke, Mountain Dew, Red Bull. Woo! All right, it's getting a little angry at me right here, as you can see. Okay, so we put a little Sprite over here. Right next to that, we've got some tap water. A little tap water right here. And then we've got our Kangen water. This is straight from the machine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to check out the antioxidants in this water so you can actually check it out for yourself. So I got an antioxidant meter here, or P meter. And we're going to flip this on. We're going to see where they are in the antioxidant quality. So here we go. There's our number. You can see it's about 270. Okay, that is our Dasani. Again, we want something that's negative, not something that's positive. Right next to that, we got some Aquafina. 300, 320. Okay, that went up. Oh, it's going up even more. 340. Okay, also bad. Here is Nestle Pure Life. It's gone down a little bit. 340, 330. Also bad. Here's vitamin water. Woo! Jumped up a lot. Now it's coming back down. 310. Okay. Right next to that, we got Perrier. 300, 315. Also bad. That's positive 330. Here's Gatorade. Positive 400. Okay. That's not good. That's probably the highest one so far. 415. Here is Sprite. That is a positive 415. Right next to that, we've got some tap water. Positive 470, 480. Okay. And here's a Kangen water. It's free, same source water as the tap water here. Here's Kangen water. Negative 640. Negative. See that negative? That's why one glass of this water has more antioxidants than 30 glasses of green tea. So what happens is the water actually goes through the machine, gets filtered, then takes an H2O molecule, snaps out the hydrogen, creates a negative bond around the HO, creating an antioxidant. And that goes throughout your body, picking up positively charged free radicals that cling to it like a magnet and then dispenses out of your body. Now, one free radical can kill 2 million healthy cells in a minute. The average cell of your body gets attacked 15,000 times a day by free radicals. That's why you want to drink a lot of this water. It acts like a scavenger water, gets those free radicals that cause damage and aging to your body. Now, Dr. Horst Filzer, who's a pioneer of the vascular stent, when you get a blockage in your artery, they put a stent in. He says the two greatest discoveries in his lifetime is Kangen water and Harvard University, where he graduated top of his class. He's been teaching that for over 30 years. Now, Dr. Filzer says you couldn't eat enough fruits and vegetables throughout the entire day to get the amount of antioxidants you get in just one glass of the water. So that's the first property of the water. The second property of the water is the alkalinity. This is Dr. Otto Warburg. He actually won the Nobel Prize for Cancer. And his thesis is, he says, cancer, disease, and sickness can't live in an alkaline environment. So what he would do is he would take tumors in animals and found there's a blood supply that went into the tumor and a blood supply that went out of the tumor. And he found when the blood supply went out of the tumor, the blood became very acidic. So he would put very alkaline blood into the tumor and finding it shrinking and going away. So your blood is 90% water. Your body is 75% water. So if the water that you're now drinking is 100,000 times more alkaline than what you've been drinking before, amazing things happen. It also says if you starve a cell of oxygen for more than 48 hours, it most likely turn cancerous. So the best way we get oxygen into our cells of our body is with the water that we drink. This is Dr. Linus Pauling. He's won more medical awards than any other doctor in the past 200 years. He's also won 2 Nobel Prizes. This is what he says about when your body gets too acidic. He says in your arteries, eats away the lining and gives plaque a foothold. In your joints, it erodes vital cartilage and leaves joints painfully inflamed. In your skin cells, it causes premature wrinkling, dry and brittle nails and hair. Attacks the lungs, liver, and pancreas. Wears down muscle mass. In your bloodstream, it lowers your body's defenses. And in your body tissue, drains calcium from your bones. I ask a lot of people what they think osteoporosis is caused from. Most people say lack of calcium. What actually happens is your body gets so acidic that it goes to the bones and leaches calcium and magnesium out of the bones to neutralize the acidity. Just like when a person gets acid reflux. Most people will take like Tums or Mylanta. What's the 2 main ingredients in Tums and Mylanta? Calcium, magnesium. So you see if the water's so alkaline, it neutralizes the acidity in your body, doing away with that. Also, slows down human growth hormone secretion and zaps your sex drive, and damages delicate enzymes. So make sure our bodies are alkaline, not acidic. This is what the brightest mind in medicine says. The war on cancer has largely been a fraud. That's a direct quote from Dr. Linus Pauling. Now, this is a book on voltage. If you hook up a voltage meter at anybody's parts of their body, their earlobe, their finger, etc., you can measure the voltage in a person. According to this book, any cancer patient is going to be a positive 30 voltage. Any healthy person is going to be between a negative 25 and a negative 45. Cancer can't survive in a negative 80. We saw what the voltage was in these waters here. They're all a positive voltage, but the Kangen water was a negative 640. So it brings up the voltage in your body, which directly corresponds to the pH in your body as well. Now, speaking of pH, this is a pH chart, which directly corresponds to the voltage. This is, as you can see where neutral is, right there in the green. And you can see anything on the left-hand side is more acidic. Anything on the right side is more alkaline. So we want to stay away from the orange and the yellow. We want to be in the purple. Now, if you happen to be in the orange and you went from orange to yellow, that means you're now 10 times more alkaline. So each step that you go in color is times 10. So if I went from orange all the way to the purple at the very end, that means I'm 1,000,000 times more alkaline. So let's check these beverages out to see where they are in the alkalinity chart. Now I got some pH drops. These are, any pool guy uses these in 10 times per pool. And when your pool gets acidic, just like your body, you get disease, sickness, algae, fungus starts growing in your pool. And then what your pool guy does, he comes and makes it alkaline, and all that disappears. So let's check these beverages out and see where they are in the alkalinity chart. Again, we want to be in the purple, not the orange. So here we go with Dasani water. Okay, so as you can see, that's pretty orange, right? I used to think water was water. But if you're drinking this, and you've got cancer or gout or osteoporosis, you're keeping your body more acidic, right? Here is Aquafina, also acidic. Nestle Pure Life, acidic. Vitamin water, acidic. Perrier, acidic. Gatorade, acidic. Sprite, acidic, representing all your soft drinks. Tap water. Okay, now tap water, look at tap water. Tap water is actually a neutral color, right? Now don't get excited about that because the reason it's neutral is water is normally found in this state right here, very acidic. By government mandate, they put lye in the water. Lye is the main ingredient in Drano. It's also the main ingredient in rat poisoning. And they put lye in the water because if water was in this state right here, it would rust the pipes underneath your house. So the government's more concerned about the pipes underneath your house than they're about the pipes in your body. That's why it's this color here. And the Kangen water, here we go with Kangen water. As you can see, it's that nice, deep, rich purple color that you want. Now, what do you think would happen if I took a little bit of the Kangen water and put it into the Dishonest water? You think I'd get it to green with just a little bit, a capful? Let's check this out. So take from an acidic state to an alkaline state. Here we go with Aquafina. Take from an acidic state to an alkaline state. Here we go Nestle Pure Life. Okay, take from an acidic state to an alkaline state. Here we go with vitamin water. Wow. You see that? It takes 23 glasses of the Kangen water just to neutralize or bring to green 1 glass of vitamin water. That's how acidic it is. Now we're going to make this interesting here. We're going to take this Perrier and I'm going to pour most of it out here into this glass here. Now, we just have a little bit of Perrier. Don't take your eyes off the Perrier. Here goes Perrier. All right, so we got the blue at least, right? What's happening? Okay. Takes 19 glasses of the Kangen water just to neutralize or bring to green 1 glass of Perrier. That's how acidic it is. Or San Pellegrino, etc. Here we go with Gatorade. Takes 25 glasses just to neutralize 1 glass of Gatorade or turn to green. That's how acidic it is. Here we go with tap water. Okay, make that alkaline. And here we go with Sprite, representing all your soft drinks. Takes 32 glasses. 32 glasses of the Kangen water just to neutralize 1 glass of Coke, Pepsi, Diet Coke, Mountain Dew, Red Bull. That's how acidic they are. Now, we're going to take this Sprite now, and we're going to take this cap. We're just going to put a little bit in this cap and put it into the Dasani water. So here we go. Look at that, just killed it. Here we go with Aquafina. Just killed that. Here we go with Nestle Pure Life. Just killed that. Here we go with tap water. Okay. Here we go with pure Kangen water. Okay, it's fighting it off, right? That's why cancer has overtaken heart disease as #1 killer in the United States. A large drink just used to be cans. We used to have cans up until the 1974. That was it. And then what happened in 1974, they came out with the 16-ounce plastic bottles. And that wasn't big enough, right? So guess what? 7-Eleven came out the big gulp, right? Then, that was big enough, so they came out the super big gulp. Now what happens? 2 years ago, they came out the double gulp, which is basically 64 ounces of soda. What's even worse is, what happens when you go into a fast food restaurant now? They actually hand you a cup, right? And say, hey, there's our fountain over there. Drink as much as you want. Bring some home for breakfast, too. The third problem with the water is microclustering. Now, H2O is grouping clusters of 15, 20, even up to 100 parts per cluster. A lot of times they're so large, they can't fit into the cells of your body. So a good example of that, if you ever exercised or you ran, and you drank a lot of water, and you feel like swishing around your stomach, that's because the water molecule clusters are so large, they can't fit into the cells of your body. With the Kangen machine, it's able to break these water molecule clusters up so that they're anywhere from 5 to 6 parts per cluster. So if you took tennis balls, for instance, and threw them at a chain link fence, not many of the tennis balls can make it through the chain link fence. If you threw marbles at a chain link fence, a lot of the marbles can make it through the fence. Now the marbles represents Kangen water, the tennis balls represents regular water, the fence represents the cells of your body. So I'm going to show you the microclustering in the water. So I've got 2 tea bags here. This is a Yamamoto green tea, and we're going to take 1 tea bag here and put it over here. Take this other tea bag and put it over here. Take our Kangen water and pour it into this cup right here. Now, normally when you make tea, what do you have to do? You got to heat up the water, right? So we'll take some Aquafina here, pour it over here. Now, what happens when we start dunking these tea bags? What's happening? Why is this one turning to tea and this one's is kind of confused? It's because of the smaller water molecule clusters are able to penetrate this tea bag and pull that tea out. Now, this is very important because that tea bag acts like the cell of your body. The water is able to get into the cells, hydrate, detoxify, and oxygenate the cells 400% better than any other water. Also, Dr. Peter Agray, Nobel Prize scientist, says you need 5 to 6 parts per cluster in order to penetrate the cell wall, hydrate the cell of your body. So it's very, very important. All right, now we're going to check out the chlorine in the water. So we're going to take a couple cups and check out the chlorine. So put a little water in here and a little water here. And let's check out, see how much chlorine is in the water. So this is actually a chlorine chart. And you can see how chlorinated the water is. So we stir this up a little bit. You can see it's pretty bad. So we actually have some chopped lemons here. And when we take our lemons, our fruits and vegetables, home from the store, what do we like to do? We like to wash them in our water. So we'll wash our lemons up. Now, did you know that chlorine was a gas they used to kill people with in World War I? They actually used to make mustard gas out of it. Where that mustard gas was used, it got into the soil, got into the roots of the plants, and they say not to buy any fruits or vegetables in that area here 90 years later because it can kill you. Israel outlawed using chlorine in their water 10 years ago, and since then there's been a 38% reduction in the cancer rate. So here we have our lemons that we're washing, and when we pour the water out, where'd the chlorine go? It went into the lemons, right? I thought we washed the lemons. We actually wash the water, right? And that's what happens when you shower. You're opening up the biggest organ of your body, which is your skin, and you take in the chlorine content that's in 10 to 12 glasses of water every time you shower. When you wash your fruits and vegetables, the water runs right off, but the chlorine gets sucked right in. That's why it's so important to wash your fruits and vegetables with water that doesn't have any chlorine or any chemicals in it. Now, I got some tomatoes here. These are sunburst nature sweet tomatoes, and we're going to wash these tomatoes up. So I have a couple cups here, and we're going to put a couple tomatoes in this one, and a couple tomatoes over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to wash these tomatoes. We're going to wash these tomatoes here in our strong Kangen water, strong alkaline water, just like so. And these other ones we're going to wash in our Aquafina. There's our Aquafina. And we're just going to give these a little bit of a agitate them. Okay. Now, this is what your body is made up of in water. It's actually 75% water. You see the makeup of your body, your bones and your skin and everything, your brain. This is Dr. Hiromi Shinya. He's actually one of the top 5 doctors in the world today. Now, you never want to turn your back on this doctor because he actually invented the colonoscopy. Yeah, that's a joke. All right. But he's actually worked on over 400,000 colons. And he prescribes this water to every single one of his patients. In fact, he won't take a patient unless they're drinking this Kangen water. He's the only doctor we know of with the 0 reoccurrence of cancer in his patients. Now, this is some before and after pictures of some colons before and after the water. This is actually a 52-year-old male with prostate cancer. This is before, and then 3 months after being on the water. This is a 45-year-old female with breast cancer and chronic constipation. This is before and 3 months after being on the water. This is a person with chronic constipation. This is before and then 3 months after being on the water. Now, this is directly related to the tomatoes, believe it or not. So if I have these tomatoes here, and these tomatoes here have been washing in the Aquafina, and when we pour out the water, not much change. These ones have been soaking in the Kangen water. We pour out the water. Now, what do we have here that we don't have here? What we have here is pesticides and herbicides that are removed off the tomatoes. Because when pesticides and herbicides are first used, they'd wash off in the rain. Then what happens is they'd have to spray them again with pesticides and herbicides. Then it rained again and wash them off. So then they got smart, and they made them oil-based that they'd stick. So just to show you that, I got some sesame seed oil, and we're going to take the sesame seed oil. We're going to put a little bit of sesame seed oil in here, and we use sesame seed oil because it's probably one of the darkest oils there is on the market. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our Dasani, for instance, and put a little Dasani over here. And you can see how the oil and the water separate, just like you learned in school. Okay, oil flows to the top. Here's our Kangen water. That emulsifies it. And that's how it works so good also. It also helps out with body fat loss too because of this. Now, this is a little boy with psoriasis. This is before on the left, and then after drinking and using the 2.5 strong acidic water on his skin after 1 month. This is the person with psoriasis before, and then using the 2.5 strong acidic water on their skin and drinking the drinking water. You see the amazing results that they got. Now, you can do it with all the cleaners in your house, all your 409s, your Windexes, etc., and just use the Kangen water. and the strong acidic water to disinfect your house, etc. And you do it with all those bottled waters that you've been drinking before and save yourself a lot of money. There's an article in Reader's Digest that says, how safe is your bottled water? The article talks about how all the bottles that you see up here, they're all rated on a scale of 1 to 7, basically 1 being worst, 7 being best. 1's mean has a lot of BPA, synthetic estrogens, phytophthaleins, which are in the plastic, which leaches into the beverage and cause a lot of health problems. That's why Cheryl Crow sued the bottling company, because she claimed she got cancer from the bottles, which is what her doctor implied. All these bottles that you see up here, with the exception of the glass one, they're all rated 1s. So this leaches into your water and your beverage and cause a lot of health problems. It's really bad for you. And there's also, it says in the articles that there is 2 areas, twice the size of Texas, 10 feet deep, where all these plastic bottles are gathered together and decomposing in the middle of the ocean. Now, the energy it takes just to create the plastic bottles in the United States alone could fuel over 1 million cars for an entire year. That's over 17 million barrels of oil. This is what some experts are saying about the water as well. Second one down, Dr. Robert Young. He's been featured on CNN News because he's getting such great weight loss stories from his patients, alkalizing their bodies with the water, etc. He says on CNN News that when your body is acidic, you store body fat around your vital organs. And when you're alkaline, you burn that body fat up as energy. So he says on CNN News, it's not that people are overweight, they're over acidic. There's some other books that have been written on the subject as well. Reverse Aging by Dr. Sang Wang. In it he says, removing acidic waste is more effective than diet and exercise alone. Probably recognize this guy, Bill Gates. He has 27 doctors that work for him full-time on staff. Got an autoimmune disease. They suggest you get the machine. He got great results with his autoimmune disease. He actually has 16 machines in one house. He's got one in his boat and his plane. He about 20 other machines as well. These are some other people that you probably know that have at least 3 or 4 machines in their house. Donald Trump, President Obama. Actually, when on the very bottom left, when Carlos Santana performs on stage, in between songs, every once in a while he'll say, everybody should be drinking Kangen Water. Now, I want to thank you guys for listening to this presentation, and hopefully you can try this water out. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee on it, so if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. And you got to start your way back onto health, because the most important thing that you can put into your body is the water that you drink.
Okay. Dr. Schuyler, I want to thank you for being on here. Any last words you want to give us?
I think what you just said at the end is like the most important thing you can do is get this water into your bodies. If you're on this call and this is your first time being exposed to Enagic or Kangen Water, and even seeing this demo, John, I didn't even see that demo when you brought the water into my home. It waited like 2 months before I saw it. If you don't have a Kangen unit in your home, whoever brought you onto this call, if there's a distributor, if it's John or Mickey or someone else, get in touch with them. I think it's essential that you bring this into your life. We got to figure out a way for you to get this into your life for yourself, number one, and then it can ripple out to your friends and family. There's plenty of ways to purchase one, whether it be directly or even through financing through Enagic. I financed mine. I told you we were in a near fatal accident. There's nothing to hide there. Medical bills can strip you down, so it shattered our credit, and we didn't have any other option. Enagic was there, and we got on the financing thing. And before I could even pay off the financing, it's already paid me like 6-7 times what I would have been paying. So what I'm saying is it's like it's gonna be building health and prosperity in your life passively. And if you're really called like Richard, one of my patients, or John or Mickey or one of your distributors that are really wanting to help get this out to the world, I think this is a great vocation for somebody to step into. It's got heart, it's got service, it's got contribution, and it really has legs for itself. It's been around since 1974. I mean, this company has merit. And if you have questions, ask John, ask somebody above you. What I've learned is I call John, I didn't want to do all the research, but I did because if I was going to share it to a patient, I wanted to know how. John was there for me. His team's been there for me. And that's really special because it really feels like there's a community of people that really care about you doing well, you healing well, your friends and family getting I think the opportunity to bring Kangen Water into their life. And I think you won't look back and go, God, that was the worst investment. You got 30-day money back guarantee. Again, I have not had 1 unit returned.
Thank you, Dr. Schuyler.
Everyone
I look forward to seeing you.
My family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
You as well.
Hey, thank you so much. Hey, I want to introduce Mickey Wade real quick. He's going to talk for a couple minutes. Mickey is one of the top guys in the company. He's an amazing speaker. He's a life coach, grief counselor. I mean, Mickey and I met through the business. We're not in the same line, but man, I really like doing business with Mickey, and we help each other out whenever we can. Thank you so much for being on here, Mickey. Take it away.
Thank you, John. First of all, thank you, Doctor. That was amazing. Took a ton of notes. I appreciate your heart, John, and you're an amazing man putting these together, and spiritual man. And I do appreciate who you are. It's really good to do business where we're not really financially benefiting from each other, but we are absolutely emotionally, spiritually, and mentally and relationship benefiting from one another. So a little bit about my story. As John said, I'm a life coach, a grief counselor, and I've done very well in real estate. Before the boom happened, I made 350 grand in 6 months. That was great. And then the crash happened in 2011. I found myself homeless with a really bad credit, so I could relate to the doctor here, and almost homeless with a family of 6. So we walked out of there, and I ended up, I'm going to time myself, finding an addict 2 years later. But what really got me, and I don't usually share this part, but really got started with Enagic for 2 years. I think I heard about it and I said no to it because I thought, it's one of those things. But one of my very best friend went into the hospital. Within 3 weeks, he died. And when that happened, I was sad, I was angry, and I just wanted to find out what could I have done. And come to find out, the 3 month, or actually he was in July, so a few months later in January the next year, I found out about this. And come to find out he had a disease, not making any claims, that somebody else that in the company had, and they were still well and still alive. And that is what got me going. And you talked about persisting of caring, not selling. I became persistent of caring. His wife got the unit, and she said to me that if my husband knew about this, he would still be here. You have no clue what that meant to me. And then I brought his mother in, and she said the same thing. So you see, that became my passion. I actually hit the ranks in the company on his anniversary death. That's what that's what was going on with me. And so when you're listening to all this, and whoever invited you, if I invited you, it's not about the money for me. It's about me showing you this, because I'm a counselor, I'm a coach. If I'm coaching you, if I'm helping you emotionally, but physically you're hurting, there's 2 things that drives us. There's either fear or love. And if you look at what's happening in our society right now, there's 2 driving force right now. And fear makes you react. Love makes you respond. And if fear is your driving force, you will debt. You will under-earn. You will pass an opportunity. You will not know really what a great relationship is like. Even in your relationship, you will debt. Emotionally, you will not be able to see your heart or see who you are. Spiritually, you will miss out on amazing opportunity, a connection, and being able to be a vessel of love. And in your health, you will stay in suffering. That's what fear does. It keeps you in suffering. As a grief counselor, I do know that grief is a lot of emotion, and emotions actually is the #1 stressor. And stress produces a lot of acidic. Fear is full of acidic. Love, I believe, is full of alkaline. So what fear does, guys, and I want you to hear this, fear will disconnect you from really who you are. It's going to disconnect you from others, and it's going to disconnect you from God. Love will connect you from who you are, and it will connect you from love, and it will connect you from others. When I got started, I had fear and I had love right there. The fear was, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I had to borrow the money to get started. The fear is this going to work? The fear is, I'm not sure if I could promote this. I don't know. I can't afford. That was my fear. But love overcame that. The love that I had to say, you know what? I want to change somebody, and I want to change the world. I want to change somebody out there. And that love for people, and as you mentioned, doctor, persistent caring, not selling. That's what this company is about. You could sell, but you won't go far. And I love this proverb saying that this African proverb, it says, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a team. And I think that's it, guys. As a team, the reason why you're here is not just, please don't just think of yourself. I know somebody that is suffering. And if it's not for you, then maybe you want to pass it to somebody else that is suffering. If you have that in your heart, and when you change somebody's life like that, because remember, I just sold real estate. I sold everything, but never anything like this that has a constant return, because it's investing in people, as you mentioned. And that's what it is. So we're about to get started on the other side, which is the financial side. And guys, I said no to this because I was losing my home. I needed somebody to help me. I wasn't looking for water. For me, I was looking for someone to help me help people, but produce an income. So what John is about to show you is an investment in people. I've invested in stock and lost a lot of money. I've invested in real estate and lost a lot of money. You could either make. Here, when you invest in people and when you invest in someone, you can never lose. There's no way you could lose. They get this unit and they get healthy, right? And they may get wealthy, but once they get it, that's it. So invest, and that's my time, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this. Invest in people, invest in yourself, be open-minded in the next few minutes that we have left with John, because there might be somebody that's waiting for you to say something. And it might be life or death, like my friend. So I hope you could stay. And if you don't, that's fine. But I hope you could join us in this team. I believe is Dream Achiever, Dream Producer, and Dream of Healers. That's who we are. And that's all I got, my friend. Thank you so much for letting me share. It was such a pleasure. And I definitely want to get you a number, doctor, so we could connect. And if I could help you in any way, that would be awesome. And John, thank you. Back to you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Make it a great week. Thank you, Mickey, for all your great leadership and being such a great friend. Thank you, Dr. Schuyler, for being on the call and just being such an amazing, heartfelt doctor who really wants to help his patients. And it's a pleasure to have you on the team. And make it a great week. And thanks for being here. That gives you the whole pie right there, right? So on your first two people you're able to help out and they get their machine, you're at 1A, you make one piece of the pie, you make $340. On your third direct person you're able to help out, you actually are at 2A, you make two pieces of the pie, which is $680. Once you're able to help a total group of 10, okay, it's not you doing all the work. So if this guy, for instance, helps 3 people out, get their machine, this guy helps out 2 people get their machine, and this guy helps out 2 people get their machine, then your next direct person you're able to help out, you're at 3A, you make 3 pieces of the pie, or you make $1,020, okay? Once you're able to help a total group of 20, and again, it's not you doing all the work here, your total team effort here, then you move up to 4A, you make 4 pieces of the pie, you make $1,360. Once you're able to help a total group of 50, then you move up to 5A, you make 5 pieces of the pie, or $1,700. Once you're able to help a total group of 100, then you move up to 6A, you make 6 pieces of the pie, and you make $2,040. So I'm using myself as an example, okay? So I got my machine, and the first guy I was able to help out was a guy named Bruce. Bruce got his machine, and I made $340. And the nice thing about it is that goes 8 points down. So when Bruce helps out his friend Steve, and Steve gets a machine, and Steve helps out Mary, and Mary gets a machine, and Mary helps out Susan, and Susan gets a machine, I just made $340 in each one of those, and so did Bruce. Okay. On my second direct sale I was able to help out was my dad. My dad got the machine, and I made $340. Now my dad has sold to 11 people personally, and then those 11 people sold to other people, who then sold to other people, So there's over 185 people that got the machine either directly through my dad or indirectly through my dad. So to me, that was basically 185 checks that I got for $340. Okay. So on the third direct person I was able to help out was my business partner, Ryan, at the time. Ryan, like Dr. Schuyler, had 3 slip discs in his back and 2 herniated discs. He had a very messed up back. And he's tried everything to try and get rid of that pain and discomfort. He told me that after 2 weeks on the water, 95% of the pain is. So he was excited, right? He started sharing the water with other people. So he sold the machine to 11 people also. And then those 11 people helped out other people who helped out other people. So there's over 65 people that got the machine either directly through Ryan or indirectly through Ryan. So to me, that was basically 65 checks that I got for $680. So it gives you a little visual. Once you're able to help a total group of 10, then you move up to 3A and you make 1020. And that goes 6 points down, etc. Once you're able to help a total group of 20, then you move up to 4A and you make $1,360. Okay. Yes, Dr. Schuyler. Did you want to say something? Okay. If you want to chime in here, Dr. Schuyler, feel free.
John, you're muted.
I am. I'm muted. You can't hear me?
I can hear you, John. You're good.
Okay. Once you're able to have a total group of 50,
But
then
I'm talking now.
You move up to 5A, you make 1,700. Once you're able to have a total group of 100, then you move up to 6A, you make 2,040. Now, you can do the math on some of this because it's spectacular. I've got actually one of the girls on the line here, Mika. Mika was in my 6A lane, and we sold to a girl named Jennifer who moved to New Zealand. Jennifer then sold to a girl named Kelly Kingi, and Kelly Kingi and her New Zealand group and her Australia group are doing about 300 sales a month. So you see that starts to add up, right? Now, once it becomes 6A, then, what's going on here? Okay. Once it becomes 6A, then every sale that you make after that for the rest of your life becomes a 6A lane. And it also releases a $200 educational bonus because you saw from this previous screen that you didn't make any money after the 8th point, right? Once it becomes 6A, you make $200 from the 9th point, 10 point, 11 point, and that is our $200 educational bonus, okay? Now, this payment system is so powerful and so unique that we actually added some bonuses there too. And these are some bonuses that we added on there too. I'm not gonna get into this right now because it's a little, I don't wanna get too confused, you guys too confused. But this payment system, we actually patented. It's gotta be very, very different and very unique to have a patent on it. And this payment system is so powerful and so unique that we actually were able to acquire a patent on it. So no other company in the world can use this payment system. That's pretty special, right? Now, again, we're growing faster than Microsoft, Apple, and Starbucks combined. That's why it's like a sleeping giant that's about to awaken, okay? Because nobody's really heard about this. We don't advertise on the radio or the TV. We all do it word of mouth. Now, this is a trend scale. Trend items are things that everybody has, but when they first come out, nobody really purchases them until it hits a 3% market share, and that's when the sales almost go vertical, almost straight up. Now, what are things that everybody has? What are trend items, by the way? Microwave ovens, computers, cell phones, okay? We're growing so quickly, and yet we're not even at 1% yet. Right there. Now, this is the last slide I'm going to show you for today, or for this demonstration, and we're going to end it after this. But this is reason why everybody is succeeding at this. First of all, it's new great timing. I did a demonstration for a woman in Annapolis, Maryland. She said that her business partner lived in Seattle, and he's trying to convince her 35 years ago to buy a stock. It was Starbucks stock. It just came out, and he bought it for $4,000. She didn't. He sold the stock 24 years later for $25 million. Okay, why was that? It was because it was new great timing. He got it in the beginning. In the beginning. You don't want to wait until there's a machine in everybody's house, right? But in the beginning, this is the best time to get into this right now. Also, rock solid company. rock solid company. We have over $100 million in the bank in reserves. And we've been in business for over 45 years. We're not going anywhere. Very rock solid. Outstanding products. Puppy dog marketing approach. This is the most important thing up here. That means if I was selling puppy dogs for a living and I had a cute little boxer puppy dog and I was leaving town and I said to my neighbor, listen, can you and your family or kids watch this dog for me for a month? I'll be back. I'll get him. And, but he's worth $500. So, he's quite a catch. So I go out of town on vacation. I come back. I knock on my neighbor's door to get the puppy back. Am I going to get that puppy back? No. It actually happened to my brother, this story. He ended up paying the pet store $500 for the dog because his kids were crying, saying, Dad, please don't get rid of him. We do the same thing with the water. We give people the water for 2-3 weeks. They're coming back saying, oh my gosh, I had some weight loss here. Oh my gosh, I'm sleeping so good at night. Oh, I'm getting such great results with my diabetes. Do you think they're going to get the machine? Yeah. Okay. Phenomenal compensation program. High-powered overrides and bonuses. I only talked about 2 of the 8 bonuses. The target market is the baby boomers, and it's simple and duplicatable. All you're doing is basically educating people by coming on to a webinar like this, or sending them a demonstration online, and then they're watching it. You start sampling them the water. They're coming back getting great results, and there's really no selling involved. There really isn't. So if you are interested in looking at this more, I'm going to type in my phone number, and you can actually call me. You can get a hold of anybody here that you want to. And I'm going to type it right down here in the box. And it's 310-739-7973. And you can call me. If you have questions for Dr. Schuyler, I can put you in touch with Dr. Schuyler or Mickey. And I'm going to put down my email address as well. Oops. And return to origin, which is what Kangen means in Japanese. It means return to origin. So that is my email address right there for you too as well. I encourage you to get with the person that invited you to this. We would love to answer any questions that you have. Love to get you with us and going on this mission of health and happiness for this planet. And I want to thank you guys for showing up. And if you can also reach me on Facebook, John Swartstrom. I don't know if I don't have my name on here. Okay, I'll put it right here. John Swartstrom, just like Nordstrom. And thank you guys for being here. Make it a great week. Thanks again, Dr. Schuyler. Thanks again, Mickey. And make it a fantastic week. We'll see you guys.